Come on, man. A respected veteran might be touching down in Los Angeles to be a total game changer. One of the most traditional AFC teams is facing serious offensive trouble, and a juicy trade rumor has everyone absolutely buzzing. Meanwhile, the Chargers' backfield is a disaster. 2 guys are out, and the team's scrambling for a lightning-fast solution. And get this, that's not all. We got defensive reinforcements, the kind that bring real, honest-to-goodness pressure. To wrap it up, a familiar face is back on the radar, and the fan base is already divided. Get ready, because today's news is nuclear hot. Before we dive into this chaos, do me a solid, smash that subscribe button. It's free, and it powers this community that lives and breathes the Chargers. Drop a like to spread this gospel to all the fans who are always in the stands with us. And let me know in the comments, how are you feeling about this team right now? Let's get into it. Okay, here's the deal. There's serious talk about a trade that could totally revamp the Chargers' offense. Bleacher Report dropped the bomb. Alex K suggested the team grab none other than Mark Andrews, a 3-time Pro Bowler straight from the Ravens. And look, it makes perfect sense. Baltimore is 1-4, riddled with injuries. Even Lamar Jackson's banged up. The situation over there is ugly. K wrote that it'd only take a 6th-round pick next year to bring the guy over. A 6th-rounder? That's parking meter change for a tight end of this caliber, and to be honest with you, the Chargers desperately need a reliable target over the middle. Herbert is out there having to work miracles with what he's got, and we know without a heavy-hitting tight end, the offense loses a critical safety valve. Right now, Tyler Conklin and the rookie Aranda Gadsden II are splitting snaps. Conklin's that veteran who holds the fort, but he's not a game wrecker. And Gadsden, the kid's promising, but he's still raw, still learning. Kay even pointed it out, neither of them is a real threat to opposing linebackers. And let's be real, when you have a quarterback the size of Herbert, you have to give him weapons to use. Now just imagine Andrews in this offense. The guy's experienced, he knows how to read coverage, and he can still snag yards after catch. Playing alongside Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, and Ladd McConkey, he'd be the perfect fit, and the fan base is already dreaming, right? I saw comments saying he'd be the puzzle piece that's been missing to get this team into a deep playoff run. But of course, there's always a catch. The Ravens haven't thrown in the towel yet. Even at 1-4, they're trying to salvage the season. They've got the Rams, Bears, and Dolphins coming up. If they string together 2 wins, forget the trade. The front office will hold on to Andrews until his contract is up. Now, if they lose 2 more games, well, my friend, the phone's going to be ringing off the hook in Baltimore, and the wildest part is thinking about it. Andrews swapping the Harbaugh in Baltimore for the Harbaugh in Los Angeles. It'd be like a family reunion, but right in the middle of a Super Bowl chase. The chance for the guy to finally hunt for a championship ring with Herbert leading the offense is real. Fans are split. Some think it's too risky because of his age. Others are screaming it's now or never. Me? I think he's worth every penny of a 6th-rounder. But hold up, because what's coming next could change the team's dynamic even more. This changes everything. The Chargers' backfield drama has turned into a heavy-duty soap opera. First, Najee Harris goes down with a serious Achilles injury. Season over. Then, just when we thought it couldn't get any worse, Omarion Hampton lands on the injured reserve with an ankle problem. 2 running backs out in practically the same time frame. That's enough to dismantle any offense. And that's when the team had to move fast. ESPN confirmed it. Nyheim Hines signed with the practice squad and could be suiting up for the game against the Dolphins ASAP. Yes, the same Hines who was with the team in the preseason and got cut after week 1. Yep, he's back, like that ex you never expected to see again, but deep down, no could actually help out. The dude hasn't played an official game since 2022 after suffering back-to-back injuries in 2023 and 2024. Even so, the staff is banking on his experience. And look, it's not for nothing. He has 81 career games, breakaway speed out of the backfield, and a good read on blocking. If his body holds up, he could be an important piece to give this offense some breathing room. Meanwhile, the guys who carried the load last game were Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal. 2 solid effort guys, but without the impact this offense needs. Haskins had 5 carries for 13 yards, and Vidal had 4 for 18. That's all they could muster. The opposing defense barely broke a sweat covering the Chargers' run game. That's the cold, hard truth. And Herbert felt it. Without a decent ground game, he became predictable. Everyone already knew the pass was coming, and then it's impossible to move the chains. Hines' return, even if just on the practice squad, is an injection of hope and also pressure. Because let's face it, this guy is playing for his career. To be straight with you, there's a sense of urgency in the air. The fan base is divided. Some think Hines is a band-aid, others say he still has some gas in the tank. I'm in the middle. I think he can be useful if they use him smart. He's not Najee, but he can change the tempo when the offense stalls. And here's the kicker. The Chargers probably aren't stopping here. More names are being looked at. The front office is on high alert to reinforce the roster before the next game. But what's coming now is even more unexpected. Just watch. And just when we thought the surprises would stop on offense, the reinforcement came from the defense. Baltimore and Los Angeles closed a trade that few people saw coming. Odafe Oweh is coming to the Chargers. That's right. The linebacker who racked up 10 sacks last season is now wearing the blue and gold. In exchange, the team sent safety Alohi Gilman and a 5th-round pick in 2026 to the Ravens, who also threw back a 7th in 2027. Man, if you follow the Chargers defense, you know how much this move makes sense. We've been struggling to pressure the quarterback. Bosa and Mack show up, sure, but we were missing that guy who would keep the rotation fresh, explosive. Oweh is exactly that kind of player. Fast off the edge, aggressive in his reads, and with a hunter's instinct. When he gets in a rhythm, the pocket becomes chaos. Now, on the flip side, the Ravens, they're in shambles. Worst defense in the league in points allowed, second to last in total yards. And it's bizarre to see that from a team that always had defensive DNA, but you can't deny it. Baltimore is in rebuild mode. And when it gets to that point, you start swapping good pieces to stockpile draft capital. Oweh is only 26 and has a lot of tread on his tires. He came from Penn State, always praised for his explosiveness and work ethic. If he fits right into Harbaugh's scheme here in Los Angeles, he could be a starter real fast. And there's more. Just imagine the impact of this on the rest of the defensive unit. With him bringing the heat, the interior gains space, the pass rush opens up opportunities for the safeties and corners to breathe. Alohi Gilman, of course, will be missed. Fans loved him. Loyal, solid, always playing his heart out for the team. But the truth is, the Chargers had to take a risk. Defense wins championships, and Harbaugh knows that better than anyone. And the fan base has reacted. Some cheered, saying the team is finally thinking Super Bowl. Others were a little hurt by the loss of Gilman, who was homegrown since Notre Dame. I get both sides, but look, when you have a shot to bring in a guy with game-changer potential, you pull the trigger, just like that. Oweh arrives at the perfect time. The team is searching for a defensive identity, and this type of player helps create a new swagger. If he does half of what he did in Baltimore last year, it's already worth it, and hold on to your hats. The next move could close out the week's cycle, and it hits right in the feels of every fan who still believes in this roster. It's not over yet. And to show that the backfield desperation is real, the Chargers opened the doors of the facility for a proper tryout. 4 running backs were tested: Deonta Foreman, Royce Freeman, Travion Williams, and guess who else was on the list? Nyheim Hines. Yes, the same Hines who ended up signing later. So you can see the team is turning over every single rock possible. According to Logan Ulrich, the workout went down on Tuesday and was one of those intense ones. The staff wanted to see who still had the legs, the burst, and most importantly, who could take the hit this Sunday. Because, let's be real, with Najee and Hampton out, any help is welcome. And it's funny, right? Hines was there, participated in the workout, and ended up staying. It was practically an audition with a happy ending. The other names are also attention-grabbing. Foreman and Freeman have mileage. They know what it's like to run against a heavy line, but maybe they lack that upside Harbaugh is looking for. Travion is younger, but didn't excite much in his recent stints with Cincinnati. In short, the Chargers are measuring everything: experience, physique, and even mentality. The most interesting thing is seeing how the team is changing its search profile. Before, they prioritized power backs. Now they're looking more for agility and receiving ability. Hines fits perfectly into that. He's that guy who slips out of the backfield, catches a short pass, and breaks a tackle in space. A type of player who helps Herbert breathe when the pressure is coming. And look, his track record shows he can still be trusted. Back in 2022, combining the Colts and Bills, he had over 240 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, the running game wasn't brilliant, an average of 1.4 yards per attempt, but he makes up for it by being versatile. The guy can even return punts if necessary. Now, what the fans really want is to see consistency. There's no point in bringing in 4 names if none of them become the solution. And that's the vibe. Expectation mixed with distrust. The fans are even going hard on social media, demanding more transparency about who will take the main role on Sunday. To be honest with you, the Chargers are in survival mode. Every practice is like the Super Bowl. And seeing Harbaugh making moves this fast shows he's not going to let the team fall apart. But what comes after this could change the tone of this whole conversation. Because the conclusion, my friend, is spine-tingling. Look, after all this, you can feel that the Chargers are making real moves, an offense with the potential to explode, a defense getting a new look, and a locker room that seems to finally be buying into Harbaugh's vision. The injuries weigh us down, sure, but the team is reacting, and that changes the atmosphere. The feeling is that something big is about to happen. So what do you think? Comment below. This space belongs to everyone who lives and breathes the Chargers. Because if one thing is certain, it's that this team is still going to be the talk of the tailgate. You kidding me?